Hello. Thank you for listening to and watching You at Options. This episode, I have Johnny Grimes, one of the men behind Furnace Fest. Great conversation. We talk about the future for Furnace Fest. Talk about this one. They've said this will be the last one coming up in 2024. We shall see. We talk about Johnny's background in music, kind of what got him into music and going to shows and all that good stuff. Talk about New York hardcore a little bit, which is always fun for me. Great talk. Make sure to go follow Furnace Fest at Furnace Fest. I hear the app is fantastic. So next year it's going to be even more fantastic, just from what I hear. Make sure you follow Furnace Fest at Furnace Fest. Make sure you follow You at Options at You at Options. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. What everybody else says. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Showbiz.
Nice.
Johnny, thanks for joining me here.
Man, I'm excited.
Yeah. We had to reschedule. I appreciate you being flexible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a problem.
In the the punk rock DIY world, you got to be able to.
You have to be flexible.
Be loosey goosey.
That's right. Yep.
So we're just bouncing back off of the heels of a successful Furnace Fest.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you this year?
Third year in a row.
Yeah.
So it was great. This year was it's been so much better than the previous 2 years because every year we learn, from our mistakes. But also, we've by now we've really got a good team in place.
Yeah.
And so everybody just kind of knows what to do and when to do it, and thankfully. My team gave me the ability to just chill during the festival and actually enjoy it and watch bands and have a good time. So about 12 o'clock on Friday, I turned my walkie-talkie in.
Oh, shit.
And I said, hey, guys, I'm done. If somebody dies, come find me.
Come find me, yeah.
But if not, I'm just hanging out. So I actually got to really enjoy this one. Last year was extremely painful and stressful, and I got to see maybe 30 minutes worth of music.
Damn.
And this year was right the opposite.
What?
It was great. I got to see every band I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So
was it just stuff was just going sideways constantly last year or something in the background?
Yeah. If anything and everything could go wrong, it did.
Yeah.
But then also, just behind the scenes, it was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. This year you had a Furnace Fest app too.
Had an app. Yeah. Apparently, some super sketchy guy in Birmingham built an app that everybody loved.
I wouldn't go to his house because he might not be walking out of it.
I'm scared. No, the app was a huge hit.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
Great, and so thanks for doing that, man.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Me and my brother, he helped a lot. It was fun. It was fun to make something that, my day job is not fun.
Yeah,
software development. It's, so to make something for music and live music festivals was pretty sick.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And we got some plans to revamp it for next year that we're already talking about. So
sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Who were some of your? I know. For the people that don't know, you're one of the four horsemen of Furnace Fest.
Yep.
So
I would imagine a lot of these bands like know you personally, or a good amount.
A good amount,
yeah.
dude.
And
yeah.
so this isn't, I want you to answer this next question.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Sure.
With all that in mind, who was one of your favorite acts that you saw this year?
This year?
Yeah.
So I was really excited about all the New York hardcore that was represented. And so to see Judge, which I've never seen, was a highlight. Gorilla Biscuits.
Yeah. You guys had Madball on the
Madball
opening
the pre-show party, and then Youth of Today, which I'd never seen as well. That was great, and then the icing on the cake for me was Mind Force.
Oh yeah,
and so they were so much fun, and of course was everything we expected.
Yeah, man, there's a good representation of New York hardcore, like you said. Yeah, almost all the biggies.
Yeah, almost all the big ones. And I don't know if you saw Furnace Fest. We just released a little clip of Mind Force. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but I loved it because we started out with the lead singer going, "This song goes out to all my enemies. I hope you die." And I was like, "Oh, that's so funny."
That's what you want. That's what you want to hear from
so
Mind
funny.
Force. Yeah.
And so yeah, those guys were they were great. They're also like really nice guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When it's always cool when you meet somebody like that who could be a jerk for like has the capabilities of like, what I've done, that sort of like could be a rock star mentality, but like totally the opposite.
Yeah, thankfully we haven't had a lot of that. We've had some,
of course,
but we haven't had a lot of that. And I'm always a little nervous of meeting artists that I've loved for 20 years,
right?
And because I'm always just scared that they're going to be total dicks. And I'm like, I'm going to start hating this band. So I hadn't had much of that.
Yeah. People are people.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like Madball wasn't, or Mind Force wasn't like, we need the M&M separated.
No. Oh gosh, no. Yeah, we're definitely not that festival.
No, I don't. I wouldn't think so. Yeah, I'd be like,
we've gotten some really crazy writers where we just, reply back. Well, it's festival catering, and we can accommodate these two or three things, and all of them are like, that's cool.
Yeah,
totally fine.
Yeah,
so yeah.
I think some artists write some writers just to be like, are they paying attention?
Just to see what they. Oh, absolutely. They put so much stuff in the rider just to see if you'll do it.
Yeah, you don't have to say a band, but can you say one of the crazy rider things?
Well, like I remember Killswitch Engage had a pretty thick rider, but nothing was crazy.
No, like a Camel or
nothing like that.
Yeah.
And Andrew WK's rider was very detailed because he's a vegan and has a very specific diet, and so we had to get all the stuff. And unfortunately, the day before his set, actually the day of his set, he canceled.
Had to cancel.
Yeah, and again, it sucks, but I could totally understand.
But that was kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess, for Turnstile, because then they got to move up to the. Was that in the shed?
Yeah. So, and this was 2 years ago. So.
Yeah. It's before. Right as their album was coming out.
We were, bummed that Andrew WK couldn't play, but he was battling some mental illness stuff, or just, and so totally understand that. But it did give us the opportunity to move Turnstile off of the Pond stage.
Yeah.
And put them on the Shed stage, which was game changer, not only for us,
right,
but I really think it was for them as well.
Yeah, man.
And because they planned for a really short set, because that's what they had allocated, and so they had much more time. And that set in 2021 was incredible.
Wow, I think that was like they had either just put out their like EP or the album.
Their EP, Glow On had not came out yet.
Yeah, but it was like. You could see what was coming down the
100%
for them.
Yeah, no, and I like to think that it was Furnace Fest that kind of gave them that little jump.
Yeah, man.
But it was really the brilliant album they just put out. So
we could still Furnace Fest could still claim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're a launching pad, right? Yeah.
But that was like a stars align type of thing.
It really was.
Like,
Yeah, and then to follow them with Knock Loose.
Oh yeah.
Which again was somewhat on the cusp of blowing up too.
Yeah.
It was pretty special.
Yeah, man. And then Turnstile came back this year, and
Turnstile came back. Yeah, which was really special because, as you know, and everybody watching or listening, Turnstile's a big band now.
They're big now.
They're a huge band with getting huge, crazy offers.
Right.
And so for them to say yes to a small independent hardcore festival in Birmingham, Alabama, I think really speaks to not only who they are as a band, but their character. And so because they remember their roots, I still strongly believe that they're at their core, they're still a hardcore band.
Oh, for sure.
And so they jumped at the opportunity, which was crazy. We were like, no, of course we can't pay you a fraction of what you got for Coachella, or whatever, and they were totally cool with it. And seriously, the most chill group of guys, had no demands, no nothing,
no weird, yeah. I mean, I don't think they've been around for a long time, like 10, 12 years. Yeah. And so like to be grinding it out, touring like they have for 10, 12 years. And, now they're finally reaping the benefits of all the, all the hard work they put in. So I think it's tough to unhardwire that from like a hardcore touring kid.
Yep. Yeah. Somebody who's been in it for so long, like they have. I mean, it's at some point in time, it just becomes a part of your DNA.
Yeah. And I think, probably at that level, and those guys, they probably have a good team around them too now. But like, I'm sure they can sift through who's like turdy business music guys and who's like really doing it for
because there's a lot of those out there.
Oh yeah,
there's so many of them.
The music business, Johnny.
Yeah, the music business is an interesting business. So
this is the third one back. Were you were at the first ones, right?
Yeah, so I attended all 4 of the first ones. Chad and I have been friends for a really long time. I actually met Chad when I was...
Chad Johnson,
who's a founder and partner of mine.
Yeah.
Met him when I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
He had a little independent skate shop, record shop, CD shop in Homewood.
Oh, okay.
And so I was always going there and hanging out. Met him, became really close with him. He was always been a friend and a mentor of mine. Yeah. So I would go, me and our group of little punk, wild kids, and just cause just a ton of problems. And so got in trouble at most of the early Furnace Fest, snuck into every single one of them because I had no money.
Yeah.
And so that's why our security is so good on the perimeters, because I know all the areas to sneak in. But I went and had a blast. My wife and I were actually talking about this the other night, about the original ones, and we were both just sitting there saying, like, excuse me, that I really wished we could remember so much more of them, but they were 22 plus years ago. It's almost like it's such a distant memory. It's like you can only remember specific highlights of it, and you're just like, man. But it was
a lifetime ago. Yeah. It was cool to see. I couldn't make the first one back, but I went to the second one, and it was cool to see bands like Bleeding Through. Like I grew up on them, and like to see them come back and still like be appreciative of. That just goes back to like that's
Bleeding Through.
Got their signed one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a picture with them. And I was like, "Here's my new friends, Bleeding Through."
That's awesome. I love that.
And doing stuff like that, it's it's cool to see. Like, it's cool to see bands just come back.
Come back and enjoy it, and really engage and connect with the fans, but also still crush it on stage.
Yeah.
I've told this story a few times. Like, one of my favorite bands of all time is Stretch Armstrong.
Okay.
And so as I was as a young kid, I loved that band, and I've always loved them. I listened to them consistently, since I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And so when they agreed to play, the 2021, of course I was excited, but also a little nervous. And because I was like, I want to meet these guys, and I hope that they're as sweet as I think they are.
Right, yeah.
And of course they are, and they were, and have become, I would consider, quite a few of those guys in the band dear friends. And so to have one of the bands that you've loved for so long play your festival. You okay?
I'm okay.
You need some help over here?
This Stretch Armstrong story is just choking me up.
Yeah, it's a good one. No, just to have them play, but also those guys being so genuinely sweet and still really good at what they do was pretty special.
Woo. So. Yeah. Another thing that's cool is the representation of Birmingham music.
Yeah. So that's a priority for me. I'm the only partner that's local here in Birmingham. Is to have a really solid representation of what the Birmingham music scene is. Yeah. And so that's why, for every year we've put, whether it be 6 to 9 local, small, up and coming bands on the fest, and which has been really cool. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's cool, like especially the bands that you have on, they're touring and doing stuff too, like No Cure and Wielded Steel.
Those guys
they're out there on the road just getting after it. And it's cool to see because as you know, there's taking the step from like we play around the city to like, okay, let's get in the van and risk it, get out there.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment.
It really is. And so kudos to those who are doing it and who are from Birmingham and doing such a really good job.
Yeah.
There's so many of those bands that are inspiring, but also, secretly I'm really proud of, because I'm like, man, these folks are from Birmingham. But then also there are quite a few young bands. Like, I'm talking like folks like 15 years old and 16-year-olds in these hardcore bands, and they're like, these guys are actually pretty good.
Yeah, man. It's not just like Birmingham love and like, these bands aren't good.
Yeah, they're not good.
Yeah.
No, they're really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy, like seeing how many shows are going on like during the week in Birmingham.
There's so many.
Yeah, I'm like, this is so sick.
Yeah, and then they're like, there's always 2 or 3 every night of the weekend, which is like, man, do I go to the Firehouse? Do I go to LCY? Do I go to Saturn? Which one of these shows do I go to?
Right, yeah.
So
it's like you want
a
to
good
support
problem to
everybody. Yeah. And now at the library, they're doing shows.
Yeah, those shows are hilarious. I haven't gotten to one of those, but the videos are amazing. I always think, where are the librarians at?
Right. Yeah.
And are they really okay with this?
I thought the one rule in the library, don't be loud.
Don't be loud.
Right.
And now there's hardcore bands. Just
where are the rules?
What does society come to?
What do we come to here
when hardcore bands are playing in libraries?
Love it though. But we were talking earlier. You and your you guys are you've bought Workplay.
Yeah. So I, along with a couple of other partners, all local guys, so none of the other Furnace Fest partners, even though they're still heavily involved in and the success of that venue. We just purchased that.
For sure.
So I think it was like 20 days ago. We closed on the building, which is super exciting and terrifying all in and of itself. You know.
Well, yeah, it's I can't even begin to imagine the undertaking. Are you guys having to like renovate and do all that stuff?
Yeah, we're definitely renovating because for those of you who are familiar with Workplay, it's a venue that opened in 2001, and it had a few modifications, but it hadn't been updated since 2001. So it's really dated. There's a lot of wear and tear, but it's still such a great venue. But it just, so most of the renovations that we're going to do, it'll probably take us 2.5 months, is all cosmetic.
Oh, okay. That's not too terrible.
Yeah, just mostly cosmetic, and we've got some, sound system stuff to work through and lighting, but most of it's just going to be cosmetic. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're redoing the bar. We're making the bar, we're tripling the size of the bar.
Okay.
And it's going to be a beautiful bar. It's still going to be moody and dark because it's a music venue.
Yeah.
But it'll be a bar where people will just go, hey, let's go grab a cocktail or a beer. You know, it's the bar is actually called the Harmonic.
Okay.
And so the Harmonic at Workplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the bar will be open when there's not shows going on.
Yeah, the bar will be open 6 days a week. So even if there's not a show, the bar will be open. We're tearing out the whole foyer area, and because it just feels super corporate when you walk in. Okay. Because you walk into this big foyer, and it's a lot of wasted space there, and so we are incorporating all that into the bar. So the bar is going to be significantly bigger. We're building out the sound stage in the back. If you're familiar with it, it's a massive black box, 40-foot ceilings, completely insulated. It was built for movie production. So you can shut the doors and literally can't hear anything outside. So we're working with Jason Westbrook, who's the GM of Iron City, but also has his own production company who does all the sound and lighting in the shed stage for us at Furnace Fest.
Nice.
So his company's coming in and flying a PA in the sound stage and helping us with lighting and all that so that we can book bigger shows. And that's a 900 cap room. Damn. The theater is what most people are familiar with. Okay. Everybody from Sturgill Simpson to Bob Dylan has played on that stage, and so that room doesn't need much. It just needs painting because it's purple. and we're moving the sound booth and stuff like that to open the pit up a little bit, but yeah, so we're doing mostly cosmetic, but we're really going to make it highly functional. Nice. So the office space we'll be leasing out, and then there's 2 recording studios as well in there. Damn. Okay. So Shane Hobson, who is in Grand Champ, but is also one of our partners, also is a recording engineer, and so he has a recording studio at his house, and so he's going in and completely redoing those rooms and modernizing everything, and so the recording studios at Workplay, we want them to be the leading place to go to record an album. So they're really cool. Yeah, that's exciting too. So
that's cool. Do you have anything booked you can talk about?
No,
is there
nothing
any announced?
Nothing yet, because we don't really know when construction's going to be done. So we know we're going to be open sometime, in February, hopefully early February. And while I love punk rock and hardcore, and we will absolutely have hardcore and punk shows there. There's 3 music halls in there, basically. There's 3 different rooms that we'll have shows. So the Workplay will absolutely be designed for a whole wide variety of music. And so everything from singer-songwriter to indie rock to whatever. It doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, dude. You gotta get butts in there. Yep. I get that.
Yeah, 100%.
What are there any bands that somebody would be surprised that you would want to book?
Yeah, so probably because I'm really into country music, and so but this may sound pretentious, but like really good country music.
No, man, I got you.
So like most of the modern day Nashville country music is not in my opinion, it's not good at all.
Well, it's pop, radio pop.
It's radio pop, and it's just super cheesy.
Yeah.
But folks like Coulter Wall and I love Sturgill Simpson, and
you like Charlie Crockett.
I love Charlie Crockett.
Yeah.
So like I have a running list of either bands or people that I want to book at Wordplay, and Charlie Crockett is like number 4.
Yeah, dude. He's great.
And so I guess people who don't know me would probably be surprised by that, but 90s country is my thing, and I love that. Garth Brooks came to town like a year or so ago, and I was there singing every song. So I love country, and so I definitely want to get some of those cats.
We're
there.
not, we're 2.5 hours from Nashville. So.
Yeah, not far at all.
Yeah. Have you always been like an entrepreneur type guy?
Yeah. From early on, that's what my father was,
Okay.
and so I kind of, got my passion for that from him. Started my first business when I was like 15.
What was your first business?
It was a landscaping company.
Okay.
So I say landscaping. I cut grass.
Right. Yeah.
And actually built the business up, and we had turned 16, bought a truck and trailer, and had some big mowers and stuff like that. So we built it up, and then I went to college when I was 19 and sold the business.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that was your first
that was
bug of
first go at it, and I really liked it, and so I've just been doing it ever since. Yeah. So
that's cool, man. Yeah. It's it's kind of addicting once you're like, oh shit, I made this thing work. Let me try this thing.
Yeah, you're constantly living on teetering between chaos and order.
Complete failure or complete success.
It's like I'm going to crash and burn,
right?
And I'm going to be living with my in-laws, or we're going to crush it here. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter what you're doing, especially as an entrepreneur, you always feel like you're literally teetering on a 500-foot cliff. So
but that's part of the
that's why I love it.
Part of the draw,
It is. It's one of the reasons why I love it so much, is because I love that space.
Right.
I love being there because it pushes me, it motivates me.
Yeah, man.
It keeps me focused, and so. But
you got your back's against the wall, or you've burned the ships already.
Yeah, it's I've got to do
figure this out.
I've got to do it, or we're done.
Right.
So yeah.
Can I tell you a story about the Furnace Fest app?
I would love for you to.
So it's very apparently Apple is very particular about what developers put in their app store, and so it's a very rigorous process. And they'll just straight up if you submit your app, they'll straight up be like, no, this doesn't deserve to be an app. Yeah. And we had that a couple of times with the Furnace Fest app, and
really?
Just because they were like, you can find this information online.
Yeah.
And they're like, this doesn't need to be an app. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And so, 2 weeks out, the last thing we did was the calendar thing to add bands.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, this is an app.
Yeah.
And I was like, woo.
Jeez.
I was like,
that's
shit. Because I was like, it's the same thing where it's like, I already told them we're getting this app out there and it's ready to go. And now Apple is, being
I remember when Elena texted the group and said, hey, the app's been approved, and I just remember thinking that was close.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. every phone vibration, every watch vibration, I was like, Apple?
No.
No, it's just you get a discount code to whatever to Casper betting.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, I need Apple to say this app is in the store.
Yeah.
But
that was great though.
It all worked out. Yeah. I'm glad it all worked out. And it's the same feeling of is they're either gonna accept it, Apple, or I'm just gonna look like a jerk.
We're gonna crash and burn.
To Furnace Fest. Yeah.
I'm still gonna go to the festival and have a blast, no matter what. Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm stoked that you let us be a little part of it and make the app, and we're stoked for next year's app and next year's fest, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What else? Wheelhouse
Yeah,
Salon?
so my wife and
That's
I
also
own-
y'all's?
Yeah, Wheelhouse Salon. We have 3 salons. One in downtown Birmingham, one in Huntsville, and then one in Austin, Texas.
Austin.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you spend a lot of time in Austin?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, I don't have to anymore.
Okay.
Because we have a good team. I mean, I love Austin, but when you're going every 2 weeks, it kind of loses its appeal.
Yeah.
And
I can only eat so much, black barbecue, Black's barbecue or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool town, but that business was so hard. And for 4 years, it was like all consuming, and it was very difficult to manage something so far away. And so it drained me significantly.
I'm sure.
And so there came a point in time where I would just fly to Austin, go straight to check in the hotel, go to the salon, work all day, go back to the hotel, and just get like takeout.
Yeah.
And just watch TV.
Yeah.
Watch a terrible movie, from the 90s or something. And so that was a lot of my time. But now we've got a really great team, and so I can actually just go to Austin and enjoy it.
Just chill.
So I try to plan my trips around really good shows that are happening in Austin.
Nice.
So
what was one of the last good shows you saw there?
Oh geez, it's been a year. Who was there? Putting me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Austin, so like the Stubbs Amphitheater.
Stubbs
that's
is
so
great.
cool.
Yeah,
it's
really cool.
Yeah, I went there like maybe right when pandemic stuff started to lift. I went over there.
Yeah,
and just going to Stubbs and seeing all the just the flyers and posters. Like shit.
Yeah, no,
So
Less Than Jake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and so. But yeah, Stubbs is great. So Modest Yahoo did a live album from Stubbs, 10 or 12 years ago, and I love that album.
Yeah,
and so Stubbs is a really cool place. Some great history there.
Yeah,
and but also they have a really huge. It's going to be super nerdy, but they have a really huge Arsenal fan club there.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're an Arsenal guy.
I'm a huge Arsenal fan, and they've got one of the biggest chapters in the country.
In Austin?
In Austin, yeah. Wow. And so I've been to some of their watch parties, which is in this like 2-story pub on North Lamar, and they get down.
Have you been to any Arsenal games?
I have, yeah. I took my son right before COVID.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually leaving in 9 or 10 days to go over for a match. I actually won tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, to the Arsenal Wolves game on December 5th. So I was like, well, we just won these tickets. I gotta go.
Got to go.
Come on, Courtney. I gotta go.
Right.
And she's like, whatever. Go have a blast. But so yeah, I'm flying over by myself.
Oh yeah.
And I got 2 days in the city, and then I'll go to the game, and then come back. So
how far away? Like in London? Like how far away do they play?
They're right in the middle of London. Well, they're North London.
Yeah.
But they're in Islington.
Okay.
So North London. There's a lot of cool stuff up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been to London once, and it was great.
It's one of the best cities in the world. I've probably been 12 times.
There's just so much to do there.
There's so much to do there, and I love history too.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you could spend weeks just going to all the different historical sites.
Yeah, dude. We were just walking around, and we walked past some church, and it was like built in 1213 or something. I'm like, fuck, 1213.
Yeah, stuff here is 80 years old, and we're like, man, this is old.
This is old. Yeah.
There's shit out there that's 1,000 years old.
Dude, Roman stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been cool. I've been to like the oldest pub in London.
Yeah.
It was one of the only surviving pubs during the Great Fire in like 1793 or something. And so, I love all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, man. And they got bombed to shit during World War II.
They did. Yeah.
It's even more impressive that some stuff that's still
around. What is it? St. Paul's, which is the massive church with the big, beautiful dome. It was one of the only buildings that didn't get completely leveled.
Yeah.
During World War II, and so that's kind of cool too. You're like, all right, well, this building is still here, and so there was just so much destruction during World War II.
Oh yeah. How did you pick Arsenal as your team?
I was working with a nonprofit, and we were working in North London.
Oh, okay.
We were just working with like North African refugees.
Oh, okay.
And so I got to know just a bunch of people over there, and they were all Arsenal fans because they lived in Islington. That's where.
Okay.
And they were all. I was like, man, I just feel like these are my people. You know, like I was like these, like especially the Brits, like they would live in Alabama. You know, it's not like they're rednecks or anything. Right. They're just like they were common, work hard, like the working class people, blue collar people, and so. So I just fell in love with it, and I didn't know anything about soccer.
Yeah.
I grew up in Bessemer, so like, you know, it's just like, you know, there was basically 3 sports: baseball, football, and basketball.
Yeah, man.
And so I started learning the sport and just kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And so I'm that guy. I have an Arsenal tattoo.
Nice.
You know, I always talk about Arsenal. My wife's just like, please shut up. And I'm like, well, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, one of my good friends is a big Arsenal guy, and so,
sweet.
Yeah, so I keep up vicariously through him. But we went to the Premier League summer tournament thing or whatever over in Atlanta.
Yeah,
and so we got to see, like, you know,
Chelsea
versus Newcastle and Brighton versus Brentford.
Yeah,
and it's just, you know,
so much fun. So I went
so great.
I went during the summer. I went to Washington D.C. to see Arsenal play the MLS All Stars.
Oh yeah,
and it was in such a small stadium.
Yeah,
literally, it was just right on the field, so you get to see these guys playing so close. That was awesome. And then left there and went to New York and watched them play Man United at New Life Stadium, where the Jets play. And that was disappointing. We got crushed, but it was a preseason, and we've already beat them this season. So
there you go.
We're good.
There you go. Yep. When it matters.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just so, you know, as you know, it's a different caliber of soccer. You know, I love. We'll go to Atlanta United games a lot.
Yep.
Love that. Great experience.
It's fun atmosphere, but the quality of play is so different.
Yeah,
and you gotta, like, especially for me, like, you know, or any English Premier League or any European, you know, soccer football fan, when they come over, they've got to, their expectations need to be.
We need to taper
them down, and if you, because, you know, if they're not, then you're going to go, this is terrible.
Right. Well, do you go to Legion games?
I've been to a few.
They're pretty fun.
They're
atmosphere.
fun, man. They do a really good job with that. I'm stoked for them. I hope that
it seems like they're doing well, and or like at least community involvement just keeps growing, and that's, you know, as you know, that's what you need in any community to support anything.
Yep.
And we went to see them play in that they have like the FA Cup version of MLS versus USL teams, and we went and watched Miami, and I think that was like the day that they announced Messi was signing. Yeah, and so people were like, "Is he gonna be there?"
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be there.
No,
but it was still fun, and it's maybe next year the same tournament might happen.
That'd be cool.
Messi might be playing at, you know, Protective Stadium in little Birmingham, Alabama.
That would be sick.
That'd be insane.
If I had to guess, I'd probably arrest him.
Yeah,
you know,
they might. Yeah,
but that'd be cool. I would love to see him play.
I think he's very strong anti turf guys. Like, he won't play on turf.
Yep.
And which I understand. You know, it's like his legs are like his big investment.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's older, and so.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, turf is, while there's many advantages, there's also significant disadvantages because it's pretty rough on the knees, and
dude.
I mean, that's, you know what. Anyway, that's what they were saying. What was caused Aaron Rodgers' injury, but so who knows?
Who knows, man? But tearing a ACL or MCL at 36, 37.
Yeah, you're not
old he
coming
is.
back from that.
I think he'd be done, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants his career to die at Protective Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. We've been going we're almost at 40 minutes here.
Yeah.
This has been great.
It's been great.
Is there what's coming up in your world that you want to plug?
Well, I mean, just Furnace Fest 2024 is, we're in the thick of planning it. So,
okay. I want to address something.
Yeah.
I've seen people saying that this is the last one.
Yeah. So it's the end of an era. So, yeah, basically the first go around was 4 years.
4 years. So
we're approaching the fourth year now. And so, is it the last Furnace Fest? No.
Okay.
Yeah. Will Furnace Fest look a lot different moving forward? Yes.
Okay.
How that looks, I don't know.
Okay.
And so we're just thinking and trying to figure all that out because we've said it publicly. We've lost money.
Yeah.
For the past 2 years on Furnace Fest, and that's fine in many ways because really what we want to do is to create an event where people absolutely love to come to it, and when they're there, they have a great time. And so we're never going to try to cut corners and really,
right,
make the experience for the customer, so to speak,
right,
or the attender, any less amazing.
Right.
And so, but we do have to figure out how to at least break even.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Yeah, and so we've got to make some changes. So
that's fair.
How it's structured will probably look a lot different, and how we execute on the daily will look a lot different. So we're not doing 90 bands this year.
Yeah.
Which I've said since day one is way too many. We did 99, then like 94, and then 90.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just too much. We're having to open the gates at 10, 10:30. Bands are starting at 11:30.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
No.
And so we're cutting down to 70-ish.
Okay.
And so that's going to help not only for us to execute well on the ground, but hopefully helps us financially too.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest change for this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going to be an incredible event. I mean, we're working on some pretty special things since it is the end of an era.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, if we can just get 30% of it to happen, it'll be incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
The plans that y'all are cooking up.
So the unique sets or reunions or just
bands
in general.
Yeah.
I think it will be incredible. So and we're working hard on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I think you guys have done a great job so far with the years I've been back, and is very listener music fan focused, which is cool, which is sometimes, as I'm sure with other music fests, that like it's kind of like sterile, almost, and but people are like a Furnace Fest fan. That's one of the most special things about this is the community that's been formed around this event. With the 14,000 people on Facebook and the Facebook group, and then just the relationships that have been made has been so special, so unique. It's been cool. Yeah, man. I could see people getting the FF, tattoo. I couldn't see people getting like Coachella tattooed on them. No shade to Coachella.
No, fantastic event. But there's actually been quite a few Furnace Fest tattoos. Yeah. So, well, what's the one or two bands that you want to see this year?
Ooh.
I mean, or five. It doesn't matter. Just hit me with them.
Can I? I'm a big Alkaline Trio guy.
That'd be
I
great
think they'd
addition.
be great.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Also, if I'm talking like bands that like shape me,
Yeah.
like AFI.
AFI has refused to play every year. So
Okay.
yeah,
Never mind.
yeah. I'll tell you off.
Well, you can talk about it off.
I'll tell you
off camera.
off air why they won't.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let me think of another one. Let me think of a fun one. I don't know, like Aquabats.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
I think they would fit. I think they'd be a fit.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've always have a small yet loud contingency of people that want ska. I'm one of those people. And so it just has to be the right ska.
Right, yeah.
And so, but convincing the other guys,
Not ska guys.
definitely not ska guys.
You can get a little bit. We can get away with, we can get Less Than Jake. We can
Yes.
get Aquabats.
Yep. There's just so many people in the band. It's really expensive.
That's true. We're starting to. That's
It's like, hey, can you cut your horn section
Right.
by half?
those two bands. We got about 14 people
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those. I think that a big ska band would be cool.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think those. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And of course, friend bands from Birmingham. It's
Yeah.
always cool to see.
Yeah.
Them get on. A lot of last year or this past year, a lot of friend bands were on. It's
Yeah.
cool to see that.
Yeah.
Getting love from people that wouldn't see them otherwise. If
Yeah.
especially people flying in or
Yeah.
traveling in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to figure out what's the next batch of bands that are on Furnace Fest this year. So like my son has started a band. He's
Ooh,
15.
Hell yeah.
And War Torn is their name.
I love that name.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's
name.
heavy. Yeah.
So follow them on Instagram.
War Torn. Hell yeah.
And they're in need of a drummer.
Okay.
So we've been trying to convince Emery Madden to drum for them.
He's good.
He's so good.
Yeah. He's they're in. That's English's son, right?
English's
in,
son, yeah.
Commodity, right?
Well, English's band's Commodity.
Yeah.
His was Time Cop,
Okay.
but they changed lead singers, and their new band is like Twisted Luck or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're looking for a drummer, but Emery came over and was jamming with them, and I had not been upstairs to the band room
Okay.
ever
Yeah.
because I didn't want to intimidate them.
Yeah.
Or Dad's
Dad's
here.
coming up here.
Yeah, and so, but I finally did.
Yeah.
Partly because Emery was there, just crushing it. I could just hear him.
Yeah.
And so I went up there and I said, "All right, guys, play me a song."
Yeah.
And they killed it. I was like, "You guys are really good."
You guys sound like a band.
Yeah, I was like, so I told him, I was like, all right, and because I can do this.
Yeah.
And yes, I am playing favoritism, so you
Hey,
say
man.
whatever. But I was like, 8 songs,
Yeah.
don't suck.
Bring
And
it.
if you nail those 8 songs, you can open Furnace Fest.
Ooh. Yeah.
And you'll be the only band to play, and I'll invite everybody I can.
There you go,
It's like,
man.
all right, War Torn in the shed at like 11 in the morning.
There you go, man.
Nobody else is playing, and have this massive mob show up for these 15 and 16-year-old kids.
Dude.
Would be super fun.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, that's that is very cool, especially as a dad to do that for your kids. Like, I'll tell you my experience playing punk rock growing up at my house with my dad. He was like, "Stop this shit.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
It's chaos."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so. Yeah, it's cool that you support your kid doing their dream.
Yeah, it was cool. But River, I mean, for so long he pushed against it because it was Dad's thing,
That makes sense. Yeah,
And
rebel
so-
against.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm into hip hop."
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, "Cool, man, whatever."
Do whatever, yeah.
But for some reason, there was just like this light switch that flipped off.
Yeah.
And so, like the next day,
Yeah.
he's all in it. And like this kid knows every band now.
Right.
And which is really cool. And in many ways, I really think that the punk and hardcore community has brought so much positivity to his life.
Nice.
Because, all of us struggle as kids.
Yeah, to find our identity, who we are.
Who are we? Who's our people?
Yeah.
And, man, he's really, he's gotten really close with some of these guys. And so it's really brought a lot of life to him, but also some stability.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm super proud of who he is as a person.
Right.
Even though he's 15 years old. But then here's one thing. This is testimony to Birmingham. All right. I'm also so proud at all the OGs, how nice and accepting they are to the young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've always been very accepting and very hospitable and very nice to them.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I think that, the people, the OGs or whatever that matter, they get it that the next generation is what's going to keep this thing going, so you can't just be gatekeeping, oh, you're just a little kid, you don't know what you're doing, I know punk rock, you don't know punk rock, that sort of stuff. That's cool. That's war torn. I love the name. That's a hard name, man.
It is.
Oh shit, I love it. But hopefully, whenever they we can do the podcast with them whenever they.
Oh man, they would love that.
Whenever they
and they would
drop an EP or something.
They'd be a good hang.
Okay,
because these are some cool kids.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, yeah, Johnny. Yeah, man, we're at 15 minutes here.
That's a long one, man. But I've had a blast.
Me too. Thanks for doing this. It's been a lot of fun. Johnny, you had options, but you decided to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Best option I had.
Thank you.